I read so many books until now, and in reality there were just 5 to 6 books which really improved my life a lot and probably will improve yours as well. I hope I'm not alone with the topic, but with some books it feels illegal to read it, because the information you get out of it feels like you are not allowed to know that, because it has a very huge impact on your life. The Diary of a CEO is a great book because it combines a lot of other books, especially 2 to 3 books which I really love, and puts all the key lessons just into one book. The author, Steve Bartlett, is a very successful entrepreneur who has also his own YouTube channel and a podcast as well, in which he interviews a lot of very successful people on regular basis. You have to imagine people like you and I, we live our lives. We make mistakes, we learn from it, and probably grew a successful business. But people who has already a successful business and which lived the life to the fullest and put all the information into just a couple of books, and you can learn from their mistakes and as well from their success, that is a great chance, because you can choose and pick out the information which you like. Nobody is going to tell you what to do and when to do. It's all about your mind and your thoughts. A book is not free, you have to buy it. But if you're interested, all the information will cost you around $15 to $30. And reading books is one of the most undervalued things in life, in my opinion. I will put just the length which is needed for each topic, like in the book. The author and I believe most of the books are longer than they need to be. Some topics are smaller and some topics are more in detail if it's needed. So I will be right in the middle part area for the whole video. You will not get too much information and not too less. For that reason, I won't waste time and start immediately. Have you ever heard of the 5 buckets, and how should they be in the right order? Why is nobody talking about that? This is exactly the thing that I meant. These are the types of information which feels illegal to know. Just think at it like that. You are 20 years old and work for a company. You finished your education and start in a new job. You did, for example, your college or something similar. Every one of us has to start somehow, somewhere. Until this moment, you don't know a lot about this job. If tomorrow someone offers you a top management role or even a CEO role, how should you be successful in that? You need the 5 buckets for that, and you need them as well in the right order. The 5 buckets are: number 1, what you know, that means your knowledge. Number 2, what you can do, your skills. Number 3, who you know, your network. Number 4, what you have, your resources. And number 5, what the world thinks of you, your reputation. If you have knowledge, for example, reading about a specific topic, or someone in work shows you how the work should be done, you will get knowledge about a specific topic. And this bucket is the highest investment you can probably make. And this is what all the successful people telling us all the time. You have to invest in yourself. And the meaning behind of that is the topic gain knowledge. And when knowledge is applied into the real world, you can call it skill. And with a skill, you have the second bucket. And that means you don't just have the knowledge about the topic, you can work with it. And these two are insane powerful. If you have your knowledge and apply it into a skill, it means the other 3 buckets will grow by itself, because people will hear about you, want to ask you something, or just even speak with you about anything. And for that reason, you will get your network, your reputation, and as well resources. Your company should pay you more, it depending on the area where you work. And as well, you have a lot of people around you, and you will know for that reason as well a lot of people if you need something. So we have it in theory, but how it's looking like in the real world. Did you know how you could test if you really understand the topic or not? You have to be able to simplify it and be able to share it successfully with others. Both are the path to understand it and prove it as well for you. Immediately, if you are not 100% sure of understanding a specific topic, you will using more words, bigger words, and less necessary words. And the people will feel like they have a sixth sense. If something takes just around even a couple of milliseconds and you have to think about a situation or something you want to say, in these exact moments, people will realize there is something strange about you or the situation or the person or the whole presentation. So these are the milliseconds where a person will judge about you, and that could end as a result that you don't get the deal or the client to your side. So try to reduce the level of complexity and try to teach it like I am 5. That means you really understand it. And here are 4 steps for that. Step 1, learn. Step 2, teach it to a child. Step 3, share it. And step 4, review it. The person who learns the most is in almost every case the person who is teaching. Let's move forward with a quote. The late spiritual leader Yogi Bhayan once said, "If you want to learn something, read about it. If you want to understand something, write about it. If you want to master something, teach it." And as far as I know, we want to learn something. For that reason, here comes the next topic. Never compromise your self-story. If you ever had a fight or do boxing or something similar, you will exactly know what I'm talking about. And this is the best example to explain you in detail what I mean with that. If you fight against someone double the size and a person who's really bigger like you are, you will get the strongest hits ever. And around 80% of the fight is completely mentally. That is the reason why Mike Tyson said he does not have it in him anymore. As you get older, you become calmer and more relaxed. But if you are young and humbled, you will fight. You don't care about how often you get hit, and you will give the best in you and survive the rounds. Someone like the greatest boxer of all the time, Muhammad Ali, said, "I hated every minute of the training, but I said, don't quit, suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion." On the other hand, people with a lot of self-concept will believe and view themselves as weak, incompetent, unwelcome, lose interest in life, be pessimistic about life and give up easily. Don't forget, everything you do, with or without an audience, provides evidence to you about who you are and what you are capable of. Let's talk a little bit about habits. Steve Bartlett speaks about his father and the habits. He always went to his car, grabs a cigarette and smokes it. If we speak about habits, we have three areas. It is the trigger, the routine and the reward. The trigger in his case is the car. The routine that he has is the cigarette, and the reward is after he smokes the cigarette and get the feeling. So how can you use that for every area in your life? And for that you have just to get better in everything just by 1%. If you would change the flight route just for 1%, it would be insane. You would land in a different country and be in a complete different destination at all, or maybe in a different continent. In the same way, if you only read 3 to 5 pages a day, you could end up reading 5 to 6 books at the end of the year. What Steve Bartlett has done, he has always improved his podcasts and his interviews. That means the questions were completely customized for each visitor. Temperature of the room was adjusted to the people. Special requests such as certain dishes to eat or to drink were tailored to the guests. What is the result of that? It makes the people feel good, and you could tell that how they appreciate it and their performance. You can see it in their interviews. You can just go to Google and see how happy the people are, and they will come back. And if you give always your best, we can take Tiger Woods as an example. For a long time he tried to improve, and for that reason he took a new technique to make a better swing for golfing, and he practiced that 18 months on regular basis, and everyone started to criticize him and said he's not good anymore or he started to get bad. But at the end he started to get one of the best players in the world. So we can learn, we have just to pay attention to small things and what small improvements can do in our lives. Here's a short lesson which is 100% true. Some people will love you, some people will hate you, some people simply won't care, and you only connect to the first two but not to the third. Indifference is the least profitable outcome. You are doing everything right when people speak about you, and for that reason they will just hate or love you. The book is not called The Diary of a CEO just for fun. Let's dive into the business topics. Why do you think Uber is so successful? Compare it to a taxi, which you need to drive to the airport at 3 in the morning. You will start to feel you don't have any control. You start to think about, has he already left? Is he coming? Will he be late? And with Uber, in comparison to a taxi, you have the complete opposite. You see in the app where the Uber driver is exactly. You have the small icon of the car in which he is driving, and you can even write him where he is or call him. For that reason, you will lose the feeling of the time because you can just see where he is and how he's driving right to you. And as well, at the end, you feel more safe because you know every detail that is needed. And the two moments that matter most are the following: the best or even the worst part and the end. They use a lot of human psychology and use it very well. The same thing is with Apple. They let you play in their stores as long as you want with their products, so it feels like they are already yours, and they put it in a specific angle, so you are forced to touch it if you want to see the MacBook, for example. And if you start to touch it, you will feel the quality and it feels like it is yours and you want to buy it. And restaurants do the same thing. The most thing which is going back is the steak. Everyone likes their steak differently, and bringing you the raw meat on a hot stone so you can cook on it and decide how you want it. This will bring you down the wait time and saving time for the chefs and increasing the chance of satisfaction by allowing you to cook your own steaks exactly how you like it. For example, medium rare. So this whole situation will reduce the complaints and returns and keep you busy so you are not waiting for the waiter, and everyone wins from this situation. I was never thinking about that. I can't let you go without motivating you, give you always something to lose. Scientists call that loss aversion. For example, you could do a public commitment, because taking no risk will be your biggest risk. You have to risk failure to succeed. You have to risk heartbreak to love. You have to risk criticism for applause. You have to risk the ordinary to achieve the extraordinary. If you live avoiding risk, you're risking missing out on life. You have to think about it. Discipline and mindset work hand in hand. Because of that is the first step before anybody else in the world believes it, is you have to believe it. There is no reason to have a plan B, because it's distracting you from plan A. Have that always in your mind. A bottle of water can cost a few cents in the supermarket, a few dollars at the airport, and more expensive at cinema and unaffordable in a desert. It's the same way with your jobs. In the industry, you earn less than another or earn more than another. If you want to know more about topics like that, you have to figure out what you want in life. And if you want to start a company, pay attention to the first 10 people you pick for the company, because each of them represents 10% of your company and you need just A players. Thank you for listening. That was a short summary of the book. I can recommend it, guys. And if you want to see more, subscribe. And if you think the video was helpful, give me a like and write a comment about the next book, which I make a summary about. Thank you, guys. See you soon. Bye bye.